Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Strain coming at you with my Sunday night dinner. And I still don't know yet whether or not I will be going live next Sunday. But what I decided to go ahead and pull out is probably an unusual way to find some of these Sopakco low sodium rations. This one is almost completely vacuum sealed inside of this bag that you would normally see inside of a standard US MRE. See, Emphos and DeCarlos are here. Thanks for dropping in. This was packed in 2018. The date code, see, looks, you can just barely make out the 8. The other 3 that I bought in this lot off of MRE Mountain are looser packed inside here, but they are all 2018s. And Cliff is here. Thanks for dropping in. These do not have menu numbers. The last time I reviewed some of these were actually a 2012 case. And I did not get all of the menus that were available in that case. I think one of them I had like 5 of one particular menu. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they can't just put all the different menus in the case instead of giving you repeats of some and not even any of others. But this is how they are now. They used to be in the same type of bag that the older halal MREs were in, and the totems were in. I don't know if totems are still that way since those ones that I got to review last year. This is the same type of packaging that the APAC ready meals is in. There you can make out the 8 better on that one. So this is the vegetable lasagna. This one has nothing on the outside at all, but based on the shape of it, it's Pop-Tarts. And they're definitely bent. Got an apple jelly. I wasn't sure if there would be a spread in here, so I got into my stash just in case. So got an apple jelly. Got 2 apple jellies. I don't know if this was on purpose or if this was an oops. An accessory packet has a short spoon in it, not the standard US MRE spoon. But it feels like it's a decent quality. And a very soft Tootsie Roll. This is a standard issue mil-spec FRH. Unlike the APAC ready meals, which had the APAC logo on it. Got crackers. And then this is the sleeve that has the info on the vegetable lasagna. And that is it. No drink option, but I do have a plan for that. This is the cocoa mix. This Canadian strawberry jam would have been my backup plan, but I won't need that. Now my cold drink will be one of the two lemon-flavored Polish isotonic drinks that are in a gusseted pouch with a zip top. And it even has a fill line. So won't be using that, but I do save all those. In fact, this apple jelly packet actually looks in a little bit better shape than this one. This one seems like it might be starting to delaminate, so that's the one that'll open up. And I'm just using a Walgreens bag as my trash bag. This was not zipped up at the top. I have a second one of these, same flavor. Has a slight yellowish color to it. But this only calls for a cup of water. I thought about doing the Russian peach drink, but Dad calls for even less. So this one calls for 250 mils, and that one only called for 200, so and it definitely looks like a lemon drink. I'll give that another stir later. This has German on it, so I think this came out of a German ration. This was one of the Polish drinks, and some of these other things are part of the last box of goodies that I bought from Nicholas Sklo, who has the Killing Zombies channel. These call for 500 mils of water, but that makes it almost too thin for my liking as far as a hot chocolate goes. So I am going to go into the kitchen. I'm going to put this into the hot water, and then I will bring back the water for the cocoa mix, and I'll be right back. I am back. I just took the kettle back into the kitchen just to get it out of the way. See, Booger Butt. Dave is here. Stanton Shenanigans is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. My Crusher's dropped in. I know YouTube has mobile vertical streaming where it doesn't look like you're streaming through a tunnel, but I think the view of that is too narrow for my liking, so I am doing the horizontal. That way everything shows up. Got up to 78 degrees Fahrenheit here today. I had considered turning the AC on, but because it's going to cool down, I decided not to bother with it. That will get another mix later. Get a packet of salt. Then salt-free seasoning. Figure that one out. A napkin. And something that all mil-spec MRE should have. Pepper. But this is not a chintzy spoon. It's pretty durable. And it will definitely be going into my stash of plastic utensils for emergency use. There is James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So I'm going to get all these out of the way. This feels like it might be double stacked Pop-Tarts. Doesn't even see nothing in there at all. And even though I could easily tear this open, I'm just going to cut it open. And the Pop-Tarts are double wrapped. And it almost got sealed into this. So that is perfectly clean inside. Strawberry frosted Pop-Tarts. So that's what we got in here. And they've definitely been bent. And it looks like they have been fused. The strawberry filling has literally been forced through the frosting and then out the other side. There's no way you're going to separate that. That is just going to be one. It's like those sesame seed bars you get in European rations where it's 3 bars, but they have all been fused together. That's okay, DeCarlos. You're here, and you're catching it live, not on replay. Time to see if I can get a hiss out of this. Oops. Lost my grip on it. No hiss. I have a feeling these are gonna... a little breakage. Yep, that's all of it. I'm surprised with the vacuum seal that Sopakco put on this thing that it didn't do any more damage to these crackers. I have a feeling this Tootsie might be a hot mess. It should feel malleable like modeling clay. Yeah. Hot mess is right. Still tastes good though, but it has completely soaked through that. So I'm just going to put it on there like that. Actually, I might put it on there like that. I'm going to go get the lasagna and I'll be right back. I am back. I shake the food down so when I go to rip it at the tear notch, that one was a fail, so I'll go at it from the other end. It kind of looks like what you'll get out of a Chef Boyardee can. And I got a little something that will help that. A little bit of parm from my kitchen. Because why not? This is a 2018 low sodium Sopakco Civilian. These do not have menu numbers. This is the vegetable lasagna. I got 3 others. This is a random lot of these that I bought on sale off of MRE Mountain. The others are 2018s as well, and the other ones, I have a chili mac, I have a ravioli, and I have the spaghetti. Because this is vegetarian, they added beans. Let's see. And the textured vegetable protein. The bean they use is pinto beans, and they put zucchini in here. So that is the long ingredients list for this pasta. Get a, that's kind of the shape they use. It would be similar to what you might find for the pasta shape in a Mountain House lasagna. Yeah, this one, they made it too sweet. Lasagna is not supposed to be sweet. No herbs in here of any kind, which is a bit of a bummer. I would have liked to see the typical Italian herbs that you might find in, say, marinara sauce or other pasta sauces. It listed Parmesan on the ingredients list, but, I had to have more. I mean, it says, it'll say flavors or spices, but you never know what they actually put in it. And there's onion and garlic. But it's just too sweet. I could throw the seasoning packets on here, but I don't think there's enough in there to cut the sweetness. This piece of cracker broke off. I'm going to take a test nibble. Crackers taste pretty good for 2018. That is some loose apple jelly in there. It still tastes good. It's just pretty darn runny. I have my slider open, so any extraneous noises coming in from outside, like that fire truck going by a block away. So I do apologize for that. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any cooking spray, and even if I did, I would prefer the one with the olive oil in it because I really don't want to taste the straight up Pam spray. Tomato does tend to discolor plastics, especially if you heat in that plastic container or in that plastic dish. But because I don't do that, I don't have that discoloration. That's how runny that apple jelly is, and it's soaking through the cracker. Yeah, these crackers break apart so easily. Yeah, I suppose it does look that way. But I seriously think some of these things got so heat stressed, especially the Tootsie Roll. You almost can't see the frosting layer on the bottom Pop Tart until you look at the end. Yep, LJ is growing up to be quite the young man. I'm giving my Polish lemon drink another mix to make sure it's dissolved. Go ahead and take a taste of it. This is an electrolyte or isotonic drink. It's got pretty good list of vitamins and other nutrients in it. Not too sweet. I'm going to put a piece of cracker on there just to give this a little bit of crunch. Yeah. Dave obviously has to be proud of his son. He's turning out to be quite the young man. I think this cocoa could use another mix too. This one is not mixing up very well, but this one tastes good. I think the French cocoa mixes are a little bit better, but I do like that one. And again, I think that one came out of a German ration because it had German on it. Yep, how very true. My great niece is going to be 13 next month. And her birthday is a few days after Ramadan ends, so I don't know if there's going to be a party for her or what is going to happen. Yeah, definitely a big boy. Pumpkin is doing very well. She is up on one of her favorite high places, just kind of chilling. One of these days, I'm going to capture her doing one of her yawning meows and put that up on YouTube. If I manage to do that, that might actually get a couple hundred views. Yeah, could it be that he might start his own channel? I'm just going to take some of these other cracker bits, and I think putting these cracker bits definitely cuts through some of the sweetness of this stuff. Personally, I would prefer meat in my lasagna and no sugar in it. The sauce doesn't need it. And Spicy Tuna Rolls is here. Thanks for dropping in. 2018 Sopakco low sodium. I want to go ahead and get this vegetarian one down my belly. The other three that I bought in its lot all have beef in them. I wouldn't be surprised. 270 calories in this thing alone. There's no nutritional info on anything other than the Pop Tarts. 410 calories in the Pop Tarts. The crackers would have very few calories. There you go, 180. That one was hard to read, but I hope you're able to see that. Well, I hope you had a little fun with those kiddos. It won't be too long before they get past the guppy stage. You know, I had to. Oh, that brisket sounds good. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, when we have Eid parties at my mosque, what we do is we rent those inflatable, like bounce house things. If you can find one that is local to you that and you have the space to set it up, that would be a good way to let them burn off a lot of that energy, especially the littler ones. Surprisingly, that drink definitely is a good choice for tonight's meal. I think the peach one would have been too sweet. I got two of these drink powders, so one may make another appearance when I do the ration mashups. Probably sometime in, I'm not sure if I'll do those in between my other MREs or if I'll do them back to back. Yeah, a palate cleanser is definitely what this one needs, with it being so sweet. Yeah, the last time I made a whole mess of pasta sauce for the mosque by using up a whole bunch of tomatoes that had been frozen whole. I I partially thawed them out, cut them up, ran them through a blender, and then cooked them. Added some herbs and other seasonings that I brought from home, and only for that big pot of tomato sauce, I probably only added enough sugar maybe to fill this 3/4 of the way full. That's it. That's all the sugar added to it. I probably could have gotten away with not even using that much. But we used that sauce that I had made from those frozen tomatoes over several weeks because I had divided it up and then in the containers and then put it in the freezer. So that's one way you can, if you do not have the ability to can, and I don't here at home, I could at the mosque, but I don't want to use the kitchen for my own personal cooking. But I could can there. But then I would have to carry all those jars. I'd have to carry all that stuff there, haul it back home. And because I don't drive, I can't carry a whole lot in the bus. I'm just squeezing the rest of this one out. Ration M. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you here. Welcome. What you're looking at is a 2018 civilian Sopakco low sodium MRE. This is a vegetarian lasagna. These do not have menu numbers. They come in a clear bag that looks like the inner bag of the standard mil-spec MREs that Sopakco and Ameriqual do with that inner bag. Of course, on those, there is nothing printed on them. On these, it just says meal low sodium individual, and then the Sopakco info plus the pack date, and that's it. And the only way you know what menu it is when you turn it over and you look at this sleeve, which has nutritional info and the ingredients list for the main entree. It says packed for Sopakco packaging in South Carolina. This is a double stacked strawberry Pop-Tart, but as you can see, the strawberry filling got forced through both layers, even through the frosting on the top sides, and they're fused, so there's no way to separate it without busting it all to bits. And this is what happened to the Tootsie Roll. Yeah, low sodium, but yet you get a packet of, packet of salt, salt-free seasoning, and something that all US MREs should have, pepper. You get no wet wipe in this one. You get a napkin and a spoon that feels like one you could just go into a store and buy a huge bulk lot. Say you go into Sam's Club or Costco and you buy those big boxes of plastic utensils. It feels like one of those. No drinks included in this one. Just like the 8-pack ready meals. Those are done by Ameriqual. So we got a Polish lemon isotonic, electrolyte drink, which is actually pretty nice. And this is a German cocoa mix. And the apple jelly is very runny. But it still tastes good. I got this one along with 3 others. They were random pick. They're on sale on the MRE Mountain. So I had no idea which ones I would get. But I think the other ones will be better than this one. I mean, I'm obviously going to finish this one off because this is my dinner. But the other ones I got are the spaghetti, the chili mac, and the beef ravioli. I think I'm going to have some real fun trying to get this Tootsie Roll out of this. I added some bits of cracker to this. The sauce in this has too much sugar for my liking. Yeah, I had a feeling that there might be some issues when I was putting a bit of a squeeze on the Tootsie Roll before I opened it up. I thought, dang, this is pretty soft. It shouldn't be this. And it just literally leaked through this cardboard bit that they put these on. Yeah, bulldogs. Yeah, they're known for that. There is Shadow Scout Suite in the house. Thanks for dropping in. It is already Monday morning over on the other side of the pond. I decided to go ahead and go vegetarian with this one. I think the 2012 case that I did, when I got that case for, I think, $30, after I heard Smokey mentioning that, he had got a case of these and they were still available when I went to order it. But those are from 2012, and I think I got those in 16 or 17? I don't remember which year I got that case. In fact, I am still using that box to store my rations in. And so far, it's held up pretty well. And I'm not really a big fan of Taco Bell. I had another nickname for it, but it involves a word that I generally don't say on camera. In fact, I hardly ever say it unless I'm referring to a town by that name. And I think you get an idea what I mean. Obviously, if I am with other people and that as a food offering, I will eat it, but it would not be my first choice. Joseph is here. Thanks for dropping in. I just finished off the vegetarian lasagna. 2018 Sopakco low sodium MRE. No drink options of any kind, so I just digged into my stash. I wasn't sure if there would be a spread, so I grabbed a Canadian strawberry jam just in case. The vegetarian lasagna, they put too much sugar in it. I think Sopakco could have made a better choice. So, since I like lots of parm on my pasta, I got some from my kitchen and put it on there. And that definitely helped cut the sweetness. And the apple jelly, yeah, it's not runny. Not lately. Who knows, maybe life bit him in the dupa. One of the other guys that I subscribe to, who's up in Idaho, his power went out while he was still in bed. And the reason why he knew the power had to be out was first his CPAP machine stopped running, and then his emergency lights came on. And then he turned to look at his clock and it was off. It was not lit. So yeah, his piece of Idaho got hit with a very strong but short-lived snowstorm. He put up a video on Camp Patton Family Compound. The snow was literally blowing sideways. So that's how strong that storm was for not it wasn't like that for hours and hours, but for that bit of time you couldn't see past the front of his patio roof when you watch that video. But yeah, his power was out. And then it took him once the power came back on, it took a long time for his computers to get working right. And his power stations are dead. I guess he had burned either that or they were not charged or something, but course, he lit a fire in his wood stove, and just as he got the fire going, the power came back on. But he did get his usual Saturday stream going, got it going late, but yeah, he talked about that experience. But he was talking about how he is going to make a few changes to the house itself so that he can have an easier switch over to backup power instead of having to go outside into the shop to get his generator. Yes, he had other things plugged into his solar power station, but it had run down. There is CR in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I went vegetarian tonight, but this particular menu is not a favorite. I mean, the sauce in the lasagna was too sweet. I threw some Parmesan cheese in it from my kitchen, and I busted up some of the crackers and put it in there. This is strawberry Pop-Tart, but the filling went all the way through the frosting and out the back side. Yeah. This happened to the Tootsie Roll. Yeah, I just open it up wide so the cardboard is completely flat. Tootsie Roll should not be like that. So you literally have to scrape it off. But the flavor is still there. Now these do not have any drink options, but yeah, this cocoa mix definitely did not mix very well. But I like the flavor of it. Yeah, Splat is definitely right. Yep, Shadow, if it's already close to your normal wake up time, It makes less sense than a €3 note. Or it makes less sense than a 3 kroner note. Maybe that's what I should have said. Ooh, nice. Oh yeah, when Mike packs a box, he packs a box. I know that from personal experience, having had a couple from him. A lot of the strawberry flavor has literally absorbed into the crust. It almost makes it taste a little bit doughy. See, it's pink inside. But I'm still going to eat it all. What, you don't think I have enough swag already? I got some stickers. No use trying to get the rest of that off. Yeah, 52 is still on the young side. My one remaining aunt turned 80 last week. So she is 80 years old. My mom turned 80 this past October. I turned 58 in January. So 52 is not that bad. And there is Tim Riley in the house. Don't have much left, although this main was... It's definitely not a favorite. You normally wouldn't expect beans in lasagna, but they used them in place of the meat. I guess the zucchini for flavor. I couldn't get any texture of that at all. I thought Mike was going to say 50 is not old if you're a Vulcan. I had to throw that one in there. Yeah, you still got to have a little kid in you. And next week, as I said earlier, I do not know yet if I will be going live. I am waiting to hear if we will have our first late night prayer on Sunday night, because how a day works in the Islamic calendar, and I think, and I'm not sure if this is how it is done for Jews as well, but the day starts at sunset of the previous, say like the first, I'll just use Fridays for example, since Friday prayer for Muslims would be like going to church on Sunday, or for a Jew to go to the synagogue. But it literally starts, or it officially starts at sunset the previous day. So for the first day of Ramadan, we may not fast because the day before, but we have the first late night prayer. That takes place after the normal night prayer. So I don't know if we're doing that on Sunday or if that is going to be on the 11th. That all is dependent on the moon cycle. Yeah, I love Next Generation as well. In fact, I liked. I haven't seen any of them since Voyager, so I don't have access to that because I don't have Paramount. It was not on Hulu. I ditched Hulu. I was paying for it, but I really wasn't watching it because I couldn't watch the one show that I wanted to watch, which was Eating History, because I didn't apparently pay enough to be able to have access to that. So I just dropped it and I replaced it with Tubi. And I can watch some of the previous Star Trek series on there if I want. Sorry, my this thing shakes. Yeah, yeah, Worf was one of my favorites. And when I had the Star Trek Monopoly game, it had, the original pieces, which are different characters. Then you could get, I think, two additional characters, and I got them. One of those was Worf. And I don't remember who the other extra character was. But when I sold my collection to get money to cover moving expenses, that went with it. And I had only opened the game to look at it and to add the additional character pieces. But the guy who bought all my stuff from me all in one shot, he is a big Star Trek nerd. That's okay. You got stuff going on. Life happens. I could say another word, but I don't want to get into trouble for that. I mean, I could say it in another language. I only know it in, I think, 2 other languages. And those 2 are not Polish. I don't know any cuss words in Polish. But as I said earlier, I don't know what Sunday is going to be like for me. But once I do find out, I'm going to toss up a community post. Yep. I experience that when I'm riding city buses. People don't like to give room for buses, especially when a bus has to turn. Some nutheads think buses can turn on a dime just like a VW Bug. But I have been at the mosque a whole lot lately doing advanced prep. In fact, this past Thursday, all the chopped onions that were in our fridge, I fried those up and I threw some seasonings in it. Some I brought from home, some were what was there. And once those cooled, most of that went into containers to go into the freezer, and then the rest, the ground beef, got added to that. So I cooked that up, added tomato paste and some tomato basil sauce that I brought from home. And then then I put that in the fridge. And then first thing Friday morning, I got that out so it could at least maybe warm up a couple of degrees before I put that on the stove to heat back up. And then I started the pots for the rice. And then I'm going to go back to, not tomorrow, but Tuesday. Got some onions in the freezer that another woman chopped up and put in bags. I'm going to pull those out, move them to the fridge, and then we can use those for next Friday's lunch. But we'll have all of the seasoned onions done for Ramadan unless someone has something of their own that they're doing. So we probably went through, at least just for Ramadan prep alone, we probably went through maybe, I'd say 75 pounds of onions that were chopped up and cooked and seasoned up with different spices based on what will be done with it. That way, all we will have to do is just pull a couple of them out a few days before they're going to be needed, and then just add it to, say, chicken or vegetables or beef or whatever other meat. You know, it could be lamb, it could be goat, or may put it in a pot of chickpeas or lentils. Yeah, I got up to 78 that I saw. That's how warm it got up to according to the weather apps that I use. And it was already back down to 70 when I was setting up to start this live. Well, depending on the holiday, since it's just me by myself, I don't really do anything special for the Eid holidays. But as far as, during Ramadan, because I'm eating the iftar dinner at the mosque every night, it may be, it'll be something different every night. And we'll always have rice because that is just a given. That's just what we do. But I like the biryani, the chicken biryani. Sometimes it could be beef biryani or lamb biryani. Or it could be a curry. It could be a tandoori chicken. Although that's baked in the oven instead of you know, to feed as many people as we do. Imagine the size of the tandoor cooker. You would have to build an oven around that thing to have it that big. So it's usually baked in the oven. And it could be, you know, curry, anything curry. If it's got garam masala in it, yeah, I'm all over that. We usually try to have a vegetable of some kind, or could be lentils, or could be chickpeas. And usually there's a salad, and then a lot of times we may have some kind of just raw fruit that's been cut up, or some kind of a fruit mix, say with mango pulp in it. Or someone could bring cookies or anything like that. And then we have a couple of restaurants and a food truck that will cater a few of the meals, so we won't have to do as much. Yeah, that's right. He's on a seafood diet. He sees it, he wants it. Yeah, the fast starts at first light when the sun just, not at sunrise, but when it just starts to get light out where the sun is in the process of rising. It, before it crosses the horizon. So I eat my breakfast before then, so very early in the morning. And then after that first light, that starts the time period for the morning prayer. So then after that, I do not eat or drink anything. I don't take my midday meds. They're not life critical, so I can get away with that. And then just after sunset, we break our fast. Maybe eat a date, have a little drink, and I am responsible for making the mango lassi drink. Someone else donates the stuff to do it. I just do it. And then we pray the sunset prayer, and then we eat our dinner, and then after that, a whole bunch more praying going on. And then I will usually get a ride home because it may be too late for me to take a bus, especially on weekends. So I get home, I get ready for bed. Of course, on these days, I pray the morning prayer, but then I'll go back to bed for a little while. And then I'll get up, hop in the shower, get dressed, do some stuff I need to at home, or if I need to go somewhere that doesn't take a whole lot of time, then I'll do that. Okay, the version that we use, the real mango lassi is mango and plain yogurt. I don't think they add any ice cream to it, but the version that we do, it's mango pulp, plain vanilla ice cream, and milk. And several years ago, I think I actually did a video on it where I made a very small amount of it. But usually what I try to do, I go to the mosque around midday, and the first thing I do is I mix up the mango lassi, put that into the pitchers that we'll serve it out of, then stick it in the fridge. That way it's plenty cold by the time we're ready to serve it. Yeah, mango, then Lasi is how I spelled it. There might be other videos on it as well, but any other ones might be the yogurt version. instead of the milk and ice cream version. Yeah, fire department is sure busy tonight. Yeah, the easiest way is just to search for the mango lassi. If I wanted to, I could try to record it at the mosque when I'm doing it, but I think it'll be a little bit challenging to set up in the kitchen, especially if others are there. And I would not want to record others without their permission, so I don't think I'm going to even bother with that. And there is John in the house. Thanks for dropping in. A 2018 Sopakco, low sodium. Too much sugar in here. Yeah. That's how much sugar is in that stuff. They could have gotten away with little or no sugar. And the Tootsie Roll was so soft, it had literally leaked through the cardboard. And this is what happened to the strawberry Pop-Tarts. They're fused together, and the strawberry filling leaked all the way through it. And these have no drink options, so Polish lemon flavored electrolyte drink mix. Great palate cleanser for all that sweetness. This came in that box of stuff that I got from Nicholas Glow, who has a Killing Zombies channel. I asked for all of the Spanish and Polish items that he had. And so I got 2 of those drinks. I have 1 more. And then this is the cocoa mix from a German ration. But it's the same type that is in British rations. But for some reason, this one just did not want to mix up very well, but it's still very good. And this is what Sopakco put in for a spoon. Not the standard brown US MRE spoon. This. Low sodium MRE, but they give you salt. In addition to the salt-free seasoning, and something that every MRE should have, a napkin, no wet wipe, no matches. If you hear any meowing, that's Pumpkin. 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 And she goes under the table. And she likes to go under my chair. Because that's just what she does. Yeah, she is very loud compared to Mila. Mila did not get loud very often. When she used to go into heat, that's when she got loud. But of course, Pumpkin is a lot louder, and Mila hardly ever purred. I only heard her purr once in all the 18 and a half years she lived with me. But Pumpkin, I keep asking her if she's charging her batteries for that kitty motor off my power stations. Yeah, Pumpkin likes to sniff my feet. Sometimes she'll be weird and she'll sniff one foot, then she'll sniff that foot again. Yeah, she can be weird, but then again, I might like weird cats. As far as food goes, it's kind of weird with Pumpkin because if I open anything fish, she doesn't care. But if I open canned chicken or pouch chicken or chicken Vienna sausages, she's right there, especially if it's the chicken Vienna sausages. But I don't dare give any to her because I don't know what that might do to her. Oh, that's good. Gotta keep that coffee supply up. I'll finish off the last of the coffee that I have in my container tomorrow morning, and then I'll dump in this stuff that I bought last month into there because I got a couple bags. So I'm reusing that same container. And that's what I did last time. I bought coffee. I got bags, and then I put it in that same container. There's Claude in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I don't have much left of this. I will tell you that is way too sweet. Lasagna should not be sweet. Why they put that much sugar in there, I don't know, but I had to doctor it up just to cover up that sugar. And these little packets not have been enough to do it. Yeah, yeah, I was hoping to get, I think you beat me to that coffee, to Carlos. I think you beat me to that bag of assorted coffees. Yeah, but that's okay. You enjoy them. I got a few. But this double stacked strawberry Pop Tart, that's what the filling did. All the way through it. Oh, that had to be a pear. Of course, I had a relative who had, this is way back when I was a little kid. A relative had a female Dolby, and she was a wuss. But she loved to be around us. But any weird noise or any stranger, she wanted to hide. Oh, this one was vacuum sealed in that wrapper. It came in the same type of wrapper as the inner bag of a standard US MRE that Ameriqual and Sopakco use. Instead of the clear bag with a peelable seal, but yeah, the other three in the lot that I got were not vacuum packed so tightly. They were just put into the bag and then sealed up. And the Tootsie Roll that was in here, it was literally melted. It had leaked through that cardboard that it gets put in by the manufacturer. Of course, this one having no drink options, I just got into my stash. My oldest sister has a now 12-year-old pit mix. She has had for her for about 2 years now. Even though she is that old, she's still a mischief maker. She wants to be the center of attention. But she gets along with with the great tabby cat that lives there. But Lily went camping with us last summer. That's the dog. But that was her first camping experience. Of course, she had to be kept on a leash every time she was outside of the cabin. But she did pretty good. Especially around the fire pit, she did pretty good at staying away from it. Oop, brief disconnect. Sorry about that. This German cocoa mix. It's like the ones from the British rations. They say use half a liter of water. Well, heck that would make it too thin. This one did not mix up very well, but I do like this one. Yeah, the last dog that I actually lived with was half Dachshund, half Pomeranian that my mom had. But when my parents retired and moved down to Arkansas, they could not have the dog with them, so Snuggles went to live with a relative. She was getting up there in years anyway. She was probably like 14 or 15 when she finally passed. Yeah, my parents moved into a rented house in a gated community, and my maternal grandmother went down there with them because she needed to have someone with her all the time because of her health issues, and she was starting to experience early stages of dementia. Then she got cancer. Yeah, that a lot of people have that kind of an issue, to Carlos, so you're not the only one who goes through that. Yeah, they are like kids with tails. I had birds at one time, and I do miss having birds, but when I moved here, I just left the cages and the unused bird food there because, you know, the last bird that I had died, and I just didn't get another bird. And some of the birds that I had were rescues. I got a parakeet who came from a couple that had him almost 5 years, but they never named him. So I got him a bigger cage. Then when he passed, a rescued lovebird went into that cage. I had zebra finches. I had a pair of females, and apparently they just got into it with each other. And then I had a European linnet that I got from a bird show, but he did not live very long. And then I had a canary. I think I had him for about a year and a half. But the lovebird was 10 years old when I got her, so I got, she moved into the big bird cage, and I improved her diet. But at least her final years were better than her previous 10. But I just never got any more birds after that, as much as I enjoyed them. Of course, in this smaller apartment, I just don't have the space. Where I lived before was a 2-bedroom, and it was a whole lot bigger, so I had room to have the cages set up. But there are dogs who live in this building, so I will hear them barking. Oh, ouch, Tim. That had to be a real bugger. Oh, I bet that's one seriously adorable little sprout. Yeah, I had a relative who had a Yorkie, but not one that small. And he was actually named Yorkie. That was his name. Oh, yeah, I think, you know, I know something had to be up with Mila because her belly was, there was something up with, with her belly, and she wasn't going to the litter box. But then, when she really started to decline, I knew something was up. So I thought, it's time to just let her go. So that's what I did. But I keep her memory alive by having her as my profile picture. I will not change that. I may use a different one, but it will still be Mila. Yeah. Yeah, the few times that I did take Mila to a vet, even the cheapest one in town, it was still pretty expensive. But up until that last year with her, you know, she was still pretty spry at her age. Yeah, she may not have been jumping up onto high places like Pumpkin does now, which Mila used to do. But as time goes on, I know Pumpkin will slow down. But Pumpkin is a screen climber. Mila never was. I could have a window wide open and she would just want to look out. But even though I don't have a dog here, I do like the fact that there are dogs in this building because to me, they're a form of security because when something's going on, they'll let you know about it. Yeah, John, and it also can have that same effect on a pumpkin, the orange kind, that is. Sometimes those things might need an attitude adjustment. Well, Shadow, let's just say that anyone who messes with that stuff, they don't want to be right by it. You do searches for it, you'll find out what that stuff is all about. Yeah, and when it does go, you get a big old puff of white smoke that comes out of whatever it's in. When it gets the smack put on it, the first time I went to a privately owned range, they had it inside some pumpkins and I think a can. And some people in our little group were able to hit him, but every round I sent downrange went down into the dirt. Yeah, there are some things like that. It is legal to acquire. Other things like that, you have to have a license and other permits. Excuse that profanity. Someone is outside yelling. So if you heard that profanity, I do apologize for that. I could only control that by closing my slider. But I still want the fresh air to get in here for my fans to circulate. Well, that's good, but yeah, that happens around here from time to time. I had to call the police on someone as I was getting ready to go to bed last week because someone was trying to go after someone else in a lower apartment. But at least nowadays, you call the police, they will ask you if you want police, fire, or mental health service. So you can tell them which type of case it is. So, but I said police and maybe mental health. Yep, that is another one, Tim, that can be legally acquired without a permit. But that's something I will not dabble in because I don't want to store that here. Oh, and by the way, I got an update from the property manager. They are not going to make me move out of here. As much as I would enjoy the upgrades, he decided it's not an imperative that I be kicked out of here for this particular unit to be renovated. When I first had the impression way back last September, it sounded like that they were going to kick me out of here either in October or November, and that the apartment next to me was empty, and I kept saying I will gladly take over 202 because that would be the easiest move ever. Yeah, I would have to have help moving my big items, but they never responded to me on that, so they took that one out from under me, let someone else have it. And then when they said that the one that had the damaged door that was damaged by someone trying to break in to assault someone else, they finally got a new door for that. So I said, well, I could give, if I don't know what needs to be done to it because obviously I had never peeked in there. Well, is empty while that door, the damaged door was on and could not be locked. I never peeked in there, even though it was empty. I said, I told him, if I could move in after Ramadan, that would give you plenty of time to get the new door on, fix whatever else needs to be fixed. That way you're not in such a hard rush to get it ready. And after Ramadan, I would have my free time back. And then they said, well, that would, we don't want it sitting that long, unoccupied. I'll get that focus back, even though there's nothing there. But, so if it can start, just let me know if it's all, if it's ready. It took him a few days for him to respond to my other messages about when it would be ready. So could I go ahead and do it at the beginning of March? And I was still under the impression that this was a hard, almost as if it was an eviction that I had to be out by a certain time. But it decided, no, if you're happy there, we're not, they don't want to force me, but he said I would not be able to afford, because I would have to pay $750 a month rent, not including the $25 average water use fee every month, not including the renter's insurance, which I do have. He decided that, no, we'll just prepare a new lease that would be effective as of Friday, but I haven't got that yet. But he said they're going to keep my rent the same, at least for now. Yeah, it seems like they're And I did not tell him that I would look for rental assistance programs because I don't get any rental assistance right now. Even though my rent is almost half of my SSDI payment. Thanks for dropping in, John. Hope to see you, if not next Sunday, next month, or in any of the other chats that I may get into before. Because for sure, as of March 11, I will not be in any chats whatsoever. I'll just be too dang busy because I'm in there. I basically manage the kitchen and the supply room. Plus, I help the main cook. And for most of the nights, it will be this that I do the Friday lunches with. So we do work pretty well together. And then on weekends, or at least on Saturdays, there's another woman who will do that. Of course, on every Tuesday, in addition to the regular meal that is cooked, we have pizza from a Little Caesars that is not too far away. And the guy who owns that particular Little Caesars gets us a great deal on a large number of pizzas. Of course, they are the meatless, either cheese only or maybe black olive or veggies or something like that. So that's another way that we try to make it fun. And we're going to do hamburgers and hot dogs one night. One time during Ramadan, I did mac and cheese. Of course, I cheated with the boxes, but I had a little extra cheese to it. Well, we'll try to add a couple of things in there every so often just to make it a little fun. Wow, that's nuts. I've only been in I think 2 car accidents that I know of. Of course, I was a passenger, never a driver. But both times the car had to be totaled out. The first time was we were going down. I was with one of my sisters and my brother. My sister was driving, and my brother was staying up here with my parents. before he bought his property down in Arkansas. But we are going down to, actually he was up here for a while after my parents moved down to Arkansas and they retired. Or maybe it was during the time that we were, yeah, anyway, but it was late at night and it was in December and the road was icy. Highway 7 through the Ouachita the Ouachita Mountains, they call mountains down there, and the Ouachita National Forest going through there. That road has more twists and turns than a plate full of spaghetti. And we only had no, actually, that one was the second one in Arkansas, and a Tyson truck driver with a load of frozen chicken was trying to come down this hill, the steep hill that we were trying to go up, but we were having a hard time getting up the hill, so we just put the right side tires in the ditch, and we were going to wait it out till morning. Because that was the only way we could stop from sliding, was to put the right side tires in the ditch. But that guy came down, and if he would have knocked us the other way instead of into the side of the hill that was on the passenger side, I would not be here right now. Yeah, it could have gone that way, but it didn't. But yeah, he claimed the road was not icy, but black ice. Yeah. My sister and my brother, who are both in the front seat, they got whiplashed. And some minor wrist injuries. But I didn't get hurt at all. Of course, the very first one was when we were outside of the town of Carbon, which is, you could call it a suburb of Corning. Carbon is where my late dad was born. But my oldest sister was driving, and we only had one working headlight, but it was a full moon, clear sky, so we had plenty of light to see. But a deer came and popped that headlight. Of course, that deer got popped. And so I think when my sister got out, there was a house not too far away. Of course, we had no cell phones back then, so she went to the nearest house to ask them to use the phone to call the sheriff's department. So a deputy came out, asked us if we wanted to tag the deer. Well, we can't take it home. We're not from here. We're from out of town. So he asked what we wanted to do with it. And he said, well, have it processed and donate it to a nursing home. But then what that deputy did was he basically gave us an escort back to my aunt's house. We were not prepared to spend the night. We were going to come back here to Des Moines, but he gave us an escort back to my aunt's house. So we stayed there, and then we drove back the next day in the daylight. So it didn't total my sister's car, but the front end did have to get fixed, plus both headlights had to be replaced. Yeah, it is. It is so dangerous. And that semi driver down in Arkansas who claimed that the road was not icy sure found out the hard way. And the deputies who came out, he just had enough juice in his CB to call for help because that was his only form of communication. But these two deputies came out. The three of us sat in the back seat of one of those police cars. The other one, the driver, that semi driver was in. But I think he was taken to the station or jail or whatever. But then that other deputy came back with coffee for us. And then, but even those two deputies had a hard time on that road. And so they stayed there with us until it got warm enough for that ice to melt. And then they took us to a restaurant, and that truck driver had to buy us lunch and had to get my sister a rental car. And that nut had no luck trying to pin it on us to blame us. So for a while, we were not buying any Tyson products. I don't think any of us bought any Tyson products for over a year after that. Well, that's actually a good thing that you have that sensor on there. I've never heard of a vehicle with a sensor like that can detect black ice. That's pretty darn cool. No. Nope. That's right, but when you know it's there, and you know what to do about it, of course, we took action when we were on that icy highway in the middle of, late at night. We pulled off and put two tires in the ditch. We were going to wait it out. But that piece of highway is completely in the dark at night. There are no lights anywhere along it. And because of all the turns it has, You don't know when another vehicle is coming until it is almost right in front of you, right behind you. Yeah. Of course, when you're trying to go up a steep hill, that's more of a challenge because you try to keep yourself from sliding down or going sideways. Yeah, you'd be better off putting on a pair of ice skates. But at least this winter, we didn't have all that much to deal with as far as that kind of condition. Of course, California and the states directly to the east of there, that's another story. They got hammered. 10 to 12 feet of snow up in the mountains over there. You don't want to be messing with that either. Yeah, that one was a bit of a problem. I actually did have to wear my boots with those spikes on them. I did not wear those at all last winter, but this winter I did have to wear them probably, I think I wore maybe 6 or 7 times. But I still have them out here. Well, in that little sort of a hallway that goes from my living room over to my bedroom and bathroom. That's where they're sitting now. Usually, when I'm not wearing them, they're in my bedroom. But when I was wearing them, I would take them off. I have this silicone mat that would normally be used as a dish drainer mat for an oversized dish drainer. I would take my boots off on that, and then I'd have my slippers next to that mat. So that way the boots are on that, instead of going onto the carpet. And when I'm wearing my other shoes, my Merrills, I keep those on there as well. That way, if they have mud or they're wet, I take them off there and then just put my slippers on. And then when I'm ready to leave, I'll drop my slippers beside that mat, I'll slip the shoes on, and I'm gone. So I got that mat specifically for that purpose, and it seems to be working out pretty well. I think I found that one on Amazon. So that might be a good idea if you want to have something that's not too thick, but yet something that will keep any mud or wetness off of your floor. And just every once in a while, you just pick that up, wash it off because it's silicone. Yep, I'm glad I did that. And even if I were to go ahead and move into that other apartment, I would still use it for that same purpose. Even though I wouldn't have the carpet. But now that I was told that I would not be moving out of here, that, I'm not facing a hard deadline, I can probably go ahead and ask for some individual repair requests. At least I can ask for them. Whether or not they'll do it, that would be another story. But I had held off on asking for specific repairs because I thought that I would be kicked out of here and moved into a different apartment. But he said that maybe in the future he might still do that when he does decide that he has to go ahead and renovate this one. But he said that's not going to happen so suddenly. And I told him that's the impression that I was starting to get way back in September of last year. Because I was ignored, I told him, I, I kept leaving messages that, if I don't hear back soon, then I'm going to assume that I'm going to be evicted and not allowed to take over another apartment, that I would have to go find another place to live. As if I was being evicted for not paying rent or intentionally damaging the property. I wanted to know what was up. Well, tomorrow I'll leave a message and ask if I'm still going to have a full 1 year lease to sign, or if that is no longer an option. Because I still never received that. That was supposed to be sent to me by email, and I haven't got that yet. Who knows? Maybe I won't get that till next month at the rate they're going. But at least for the time being, I can go ahead and think about planting my seeds after Ramadan, because I am going to do it. My compost bin is nearly full, and I'm going to add some more to it because I've been eating some big old oranges that are as big around as this area is wide, just about, that someone gave me. I ate one of those my lunch today. So I'm ripping up the orange peels into smaller bits so that they'll take less time to break down when I toss them into the compost. Yep, my pots are still out there. I have the shelves bungeed to the deck rail. And those bungees are still holding up. So I'm happy about that. And yes, I did order some more seeds. They won't get planted this year, but some I got for trading fodder. I can trade with others. And some I might save for future planting here. Yeah, I got a few packets of basil, I got a few packets of dill, a few packets of cilantro, and some others that are like the ones that I do try to grow. But now I have more of them. And the latest batch I ordered, I got the seeds in from one of those. I got them yesterday. And I'm waiting on the other order to get shipped out. So I hope those will come in next week, because I would like to do a mail call video on those, and I want to do them both at the same time. So I'm holding off on showing the first set until I get the others. Yeah, a lot of the seeds that I have, I can't grow here because I just don't have the space or the growing conditions. But they're good trade items. I already have a few set aside for trade, and some of these are in my most recent orders will be for trade as well. Some of the seeds that I've gotten lately have discount codes that are associated with Grow Big TV. That's a collaboration channel with Joe of Garden State Gardener and Courtney of Wide Family Farm. They both got together to start up Grow Big TV, and they have 2 seed sponsorships, In My Gardener and MRE's Heirloom Seeds. I also have seeds from Baker Creek, and I have some of the seeds that I picked up that people had contributed to the giveaway on the final day of the White Eagle Multicultural Powwow. And I see them there after everybody else has made their picks, their initial picks of the items that are on the floor. Then whatever's left, anyone can just go ahead and pick up additional items. I see that no one is picking up the seeds, I grab them. So I have a video of all the seeds that I brought home last September. And some of those have been moved to my trade container. And the other ones I'm keeping because I may either trade them off later, or I may ask someone to grow them for me and then split the harvest. Or who knows, maybe I may end up being given access to a place where I could grow them myself. It just wouldn't be here. Oh, awesome. I have even seen, there are seed packets you can get multicolored carrots. And then I've even seen white carrot and the black carrot seeds. One thing I wish I could grow would be purple potatoes. But you have to have direct sunlight on them. So I don't think I can do potatoes here. But I might try a radish. Yeah, a lot of people are starting seeds now, but I just don't have the space to do that here. And plus, with a very active cat, I'm afraid that unless it is completely enclosed in something that is impervious to cat claws, I just can't do it. My lighting here is not that great. In fact, I rated one light fixture that I don't use. I stole the two bulbs out of there that still work. They're compact fluorescents. I stuck one in the bathroom to replace one bulb that I took out of there to bring in here because the light color is like what I want in my ceiling fan. So I put that compact fluorescent in the light fixture in the bathroom. It's a funky pinkish peach color that I can't stand that, but I'm going to use it. That's okay. Joe did not have a Sunday fun day tonight because tomorrow he has a colonoscopy. So you know what that means the day before. And that's not a fun thing to go through. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good anyway. I've finished off my cocoa. A lot of stuff in the bottom of the mug, but I'll deal with that. But again, if I will be able to go live next Sunday, I'll go ahead and toss a post up. If I'm not going to be able to go live, I'll toss a post up saying that. And whatever the case, if I'm not going live next Sunday, it just means I'll have more time to figure out where I want to go after Ramadan. Do I want to do ration mashups? Because I got enough items to do a complete Polish meal. Plus, I got other stuff I can throw together. So who knows? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have a complete Polish meal after my first stream after Ramadan. And that end around April 10th. So the first Sunday after that, I will go live. For sure. But anyway, I do want to thank you all for hanging out with me. And hope to see you all another time. So thanks for watching and catch you on the flip side.